Hello everyone, Murray the Pieman here for some more Star Trek Online. Now, for those who came in late, we are playing through the additional Deep Space Nine mission. So what we have had so far is we went to a Borg conference in Deep Space Nine, and from that the Jem'Hadar suddenly appeared. The Dominion and whatnot came out the wormhole and attacked the station. So we lost the station, SOS, and we've now come to regroup at Bajor. So that's kind of where we are. Like I say, we're doing this to take a bit of a break from the main story. Just to try some of these side missions which you can take as an optional, but not play. Now, I do apologise if something's screwy. I'm still trying to... Now, I've got a new computer. So hopefully we'll get rid of a lot of that juddering and lag that we've been having in the past few videos. But it also means I'm still trying to sort out the audio levels and stuff, so I had a wee fiddle about with them. Hopefully this is some way acceptable, but if not, apologies in advance. So, I suppose, let's beam down to Bajor. Again, I also apologise, it's a different mic as well, so it's just in general everything's a bit new. Welcome to the city of Hathon, Admiral Drakhara. This is the Transporter Chief. Commander Messi Achibi has asked me to inform her when you had arrived. She's waiting for you in her office at the Starfleet base. I'll add the coordinates to your map. So of course we've seen Hathon province before. We saw it when we did the sort of first Deep Space Nine chapter and did all the what do you call it? Sort of the missions with this province in the mirror. So this was built as a social zone. They don't actually build many of them now. It's kind of a shame, but I can't criticise too much because I'm one of the reasons why they didn't build them. Well, we all are really. These were meant to be areas where you could come meet other players, but I think I've talked before, this is one of the least social MMORPGs that you can play. People... some people do go out the way to talk to you, some people have a very social time, but it's also a lot of the player base just like being left alone. So here we are. The one downside of this is you will run around this a lot, but so let's find Commander Messi Achibi. There she is. Again, some of this is voice, so I will read out as much as I can.
Time is short.
Yes, so that's all you'll get from her, but she's saying, welcome to Bajor. This will serve as our base of operations while we work to retake Deep Space Nine. Starfleet agreed to give you and your officers access here. You performed admirably on the attack in DS9, and frankly we can use the help. Don't make me regret this. I need you to give me your best, and I don't need any trouble. Understood? We're guests here in Bajor, but the locals don't like us used that way. I thought that Bajor joining the Federation would be a step in the right direction, but the Bajorans in this city seem to think it's the second coming of the Cardassian occupation. Be on your best behaviour and try to do all you can to smooth out some of the ruffled feathers. A civilian uprising is a headache I don't need. I'll have something for you later. Report to Lieutenant Jurella Cav first. She'll know what tasks are most critical. So there we go. That's us got our mission. That doesn't look good. Oh, there's a Klingon here. He's saying, I'm able to assist you in any way I can, so what can you do? We've been afforded a great deal of access by our Federation host, wouldn't you say? It would be a shame to let all of that go to waste, and make sure it doesn't happen. Dance their song if you must, Admiral. Do the menial tasks they assign you. It is for a grander purpose than soothing the wounded feelings of a bunch of weak and cowardly farmers. By the time we leave the planet, we will know more about the Federation than the Bajorans do. Because yeah, you've forgotten we're still at war. And I'm technically working with the Klingons, so yeah. But here we are on Bajor, working for the Federation. The game kind of dovetailed together already. So here's Jurella Kev.
How can I help you?
So Jurella Kev saying, Captain Curran told me you've been authorised to be down here. It's nice to see people from Starfleet and Empire working together, and with you here, even the Romulan Republic is lending a hand. I like the fact they added the dialogue for that. Reminds us what's really important. The attack on DS9 has put everything here into a tailspin. We're setting up a base to coordinate the campaign to take the station back, but it's slow going. This area of the city is older and doesn't have the infrastructure we need. Good thing we have talented officers like you to know how to whip up a few technical miracles.
Do you need something?
So, I've got this mission, Tactical System Security. So she's saying the Bajoran computer network in this part of the city was built for civilian use. It can't handle the increased traffic or the encryption patterns the Starfleet uses. And now with the gym, Hadar and Deep Space Nine, this network is more important than ever. We need to update all the firewall software and upgrade the networks we can handle all we're throwing at. I know network security was part of your tactical training. Can I depend on you to help us deal with the vulnerabilities in the network? So,
I'm here to help.
what we'd have now, you might be able to see. So, Kamen has gone in. We've met him before. He's speaking to us in a secure comm channel that Starfleet will be unable to detect. I have little time, but I need your help. Starfleet is so wrapped up in their current woes of the Dominion fleet that they'll elevate their guard. You're getting a great deal of access to their base Drakhara, far more than I anticipated. This could change at any second. We must move quickly to take advantage of this opportunity. Will you help me? I have a task for you. Starfleet naivety gives us the opportunity to advance in our greater struggle. The High Council has agreed to assist the Federation against the Dominion. No one wants a repeat invasion, however we are not Starfleet allies. While you're on Bajor assisting in the counter-defense, I want you to plant these listening devices in the Starfleet base. All that we learn here will help us in the ultimate struggle. So what we've got is we've got a selection, so we can do the eavesdropping in electronics, or we can help set up the network, their Wi-Fi network. And so you can see we've got quite a selection of options. Now, if I remember, so I can talk to this guy here, the firewall technician. Oh, hello! Commander Rishabi informed me that you're permitted to have access to the network, so I'm going to ask him what he's doing. This computer network is designed for civilian use and isn't up to the major demands of a Starfleet operation. We're doing the upgrades as fast as we can, but I think there might be a security leak somewhere. There are drops in the signal strength that indicate something might be siphoning off data. I could use a tactical officer trained in network security to help me track down and correct any possible issues. So we've got that. I'll update the firewall security protocols. So you thought this would be a simple upgrade, but there are already breakdowns in the Bajor network. You'll need to find and modify every affected terminal to ensure the network can handle a minimum amount of traffic. So this is what we've got to do, is find these things to deal with. And that's kind of, all of them are these little fetch quest missions, so here we go, we're updating their network. This computer terminal is operating normally and has not been affected. I need to find other terminals. Downside is we're kind of looking at random stuff. There are other things we could do, so again I can talk to the civilian who said, what do you want? And I asked them why they're here, and this is their sanctuary. They come here for a few minutes. It's the only time they have to themselves. 3 young children, a business to run, so even when I'm home there's always work. Quiet place there, so that's just a random bit of fluff flavour. Yeah, so there's another terminal. I'm just going to do the firewall one. It's quite easy. I could try to do all of them. In fact, I'll probably try and show you a bit of it. So that's one that's operating normally. So let's, just to show you kind of a flavour, you can't do all the missions, and we'd be here all day if we did. So that's the Klingon officer. Yeah, so I can plant a remote listening device. But a Starfleet officer will appear. Hi. Oh. Oh. And died. Well, that was unfortunate. Let's see if I can find a malfunctioning terminal. I think that's the only ones I've got. Yeah. Search for the flaws in the firewall. So the firewall issue could be bigger than it appeared at first glance. There's another node nearby being affected with increasing network traffic. Now we're going to track back to the intruder. Doing some computer updates. Upgrade the firewall software of this terminal, or all the terminals in the area could be vulnerable. Also, your scanner detects another node that's being affected with increase, so you should upgrade it as well. I also want to see what's going on up here. That one's operating normally. That's the bank and exchange. So, like I say, it's like Deep Space Nine in a lot of ways. You've got a lot of things. You can look at your bank, you can do exchange stuff, you can I know that's a normal one as well. You can, there's basically a lot of fairly normal things to do here, and that's what they tried to do in the early days. They don't do it much now. Again, New Romulus was like that as well. If you noticed, it had kind of the it was built to kind of have the same features, but like I say, they've taken a lot of the, well, they're not, they just don't do it anymore, because people didn't use them. Like I say, I know I didn't, so I can hardly blame people. Oh, shouty people, don't mind me. Oh, there's another terminal around here. So you can see there, kind of all of them have auto-completed. And we're now going to return to the contact. So this is kind of a set of missions. It's not particularly combat heavy, there is a little, but for the most part, what I like about this set of missions is I always appreciate it when the game tries to do a few different things with the engine and the kind of methodology just to try and make a few things happening. So Jarella said, thanks for the help. Now our computers are operating at peak efficiency. You could use more like us.
I'm here to help.
So this is kind of a thing we can either do holodeck training, so we can do it against ground troops, or
I'm here to help.
spaceships. Oh no, this is yeah, this is both ground. There's a ground one and a. So what do we want to fight? A changeling, or I think we'll fight some Jem'Hadar.
I'm here to help.
So we've got to run into their holodeck. This is the bit actually genuinely. These next bits are the pieces which I think could be quite easily dropped. I don't think they actually contribute much. Nice shuttle bay set, mind, but basically in this we're just going to get hit by waves of Jem'Hadar. Oh. So there they are, coming through that door. And this is just it, so again, not too exciting. I think this was almost, you do get the feeling that someone said, oh no, we can't have a whole mission without some combat. So yeah, so we're kind of stuck with this holodeck one, so we're going to defeat some waves of Jem'Hadar, and there's more coming through this side. Can't remember how many, if it's, oh yeah, 4. So well, that was definitely a thing we did. And Lonoff didn't run into our own death, so a computer end program. Now we've got to go back to Juriel Cav. I bet you feel you could take on the entire Dominion right now. Holodeck exercises aren't like real combat, but anything that helps us prepare is important.
I'm here to help.
So again, you can pick. So I'm going to go against the smaller ones.
I'm here to help.
But again, space one as well, so Depends what do you want to do, fight the bigger ships or the smaller ones. In this case I'm going for smaller. Are they harder or easier? Depends how you're how badly your ship's set up. Mine's set up pretty badly. So I suppose there is a bit of action, but it's really just... I do feel like this is an afterthought. I'll say that. You always feel like you put the whole mission together and it's almost like, hang on, when's the bit where we do some space battles? And you said there isn't, and like, oh no, can't have that. So, yeah. I'll go into this with as much enthusiasm as I can muster. Oh, he's on my 6, I can't shake him. Oh, wait, I can. Shot with these rapid fire cannons, if you catch them right, you can tear shields to bits. And here we go. Oh yeah, we've got to defeat some heavy escorts as well. Well, I could put you in a tractor beam too, so in the air. Down. Singularity effects here. I like the fact that it's a holodeck program, but I still mysteriously get drops out of it. So, that's, believe it or not, you might say, oh come on, there's some exciting combat. That's quite dull combat in my view. I think it just seemed unnecessary, but There you go. Great job. With ship commanders like you on our side, I know we'll be able to retake the station.
I'm here. Do you need something?
So, thanks to you, we have everything under control. You should head out into the city to help the Bajorans. Colonel Cubus Paul in the militia has been asking for assistance. Find him and he should be able to point you in the right direction. We couldn't have done this
I'm
without
here
you.
to help.
So, I would ask about her. Well,
Do you need something? I'm here to help.
so, she's saying, asked her about herself. She's saying she's glad to be here. She was at DS9 waiting for the USS Tempest when the Gem had our attack. She evac'd with the station staff, and instead of sitting on her hands, she volunteered to help. That's what to do. Ops isn't the most glamorous station in a starship, but it helps ensure everything needs to be done gets done. So there you go.
I'm here to help.
And she's here to help. I don't know if you picked up on that. She wasn't clear. She keeps that to herself. So we've now got to find Cubist Pole. He's... let's see. You actually saw the security station when we were running around earlier. But yeah, I like Hatham Province. I actually like it as a map. You know, I do appreciate them building these things, even if we sadly didn't make much of a use of them. There he is, Cubist Paul.
We have a situation here.
So he said, we have a situation. Welcome to Bajor. I wish your visit here could be under better circumstances. The whole DS9 situation troubles me, and having Starfleet here in Bajor has opened up some old wounds. And don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of people aren't happy that Captain Curland is allowing you and your warriors access to the planet. I know you're an officer and you'll do the right thing, but people aren't welcome as I am. A few decades ago we had Cardassian boots on our necks. People remember that. I'd advise you to watch where you step if you don't want trouble. So again, I can look at either doing one about do stuff about religious stuff, or I can the other one is people who aren't happy about Starfleet as well as the KDF, Bajorans all over the country. So there's a protester. Now I do like this protester one, so I'm going to show you that one. So we were going to go and talk to this protester, try and talk him down. So off we go. Yeah, like I say, it's just a nice map, you know, again, just to give you some appreciation. They built a little Bajoran town. Again, I didn't possibly take as long to look at it when we were doing the DS9 missions before. But yeah, it's nice. So, oh yeah, there's the protesters. So let's go and talk to him.
This is our home!
This is his home, apparently. So the protesters saying the Bajoran people will not stand for another hostile occupation. The Cardassians did enough damage to our world. We deserve peace and prosperity and a right to govern ourselves. And I'm going to respond with, the Klingon Empire is not here to invade Bajor. He's saying, so you say, prove that you don't intend to occupy the planet. So what we've got is a list of options here we've got to try and talk through. So I'm going to start with Bajor has a rich cultural heritage.
Bajor for Bajorans!
And he's saying, the first thing the Cardassians did during the occupation was try and remove all sense of our cultural identity. When the Cardassians came, our artists and entertainers were forced to work as slaves. The rural way of life that has stayed for countless generations was destroyed with our farmlands. And when the Drakhara caste system was abolished, our society was left in disaster. Artists became soldiers, and soldiers turned into farmers and bakers. We lost knowledge that had been handed down for generations, and the people were left to struggle through life. Now, I could say the Drakhara was an outdated system, and you're better off without it. Great art will be inspired diversity, true arts, by the way. So I'm going to say there's now a thriving reclamation effort. I'm going to say great artist. Yeah, I'm going to go for the middle one here. Thriving soil reclamation effort to repair most of the farm. I'll try this one. Great art can be inspired by diversity. So you see, he said, you might be right, I never thought of it that way. So that was the correct answer. The next one I'm going to say is Bajoran religion's a key cultural keystone.
We will not be slaves!
Yeah, I am having a conversation here. It's like I'm chatting with him and every so often he'll shout a slogan just to keep the crowd occupied. So he said one of the worst side effects is the loss of faith. We have followed the teachings of the prophets for thousands of years. During the Cardassian rule, our religious leaders were executed and our monasteries were closed. The atrocities that we experienced made it difficult for anyone to believe in the prophets. What's even worse is that the emissary allowed the path to the Celestial Temple to be closed during the Dominion War. People turned to the Pi Wraiths to attempt to have their prayers answered. So I can say, prophets will watch over you, speak and they will listen. If the Cardassians made you abandon your faith, they'll be strong. That's probably not right. And similar is the one of, have you considered the cult of the Pirates as a viable religious alternative? So quite an easy one there. The entities still exist and watch over Bajor, speak and they will listen. I might be right, I had never thought of it that way. So now the Bajoran government is stable, they don't need us to tell them how to do it.
Bajor for Bajorans!
Yeah, speaking here, right, so the protester is saying the Cardassians were able to put Bajoran against Bajoran by starving us and depriving us of rights. Any small comfort they allowed us as a reward for their puppets was treated like we'd won a lottery. Neighbour turned on labour and brothers reported from their families. And then many people were labelled as collaborators and all they wanted to do was fill their children's bellies. So I could say, sounds like working with the Cardassians worked out for some people? No. If it's that easy to convince Bajorans to turn on one another, you would have done so even without the Cardassians. Again, probably not. So, I'm going to say the Bajoran people are put in a terrible position, there's no dishonour in survival. And he's never thought of it that way, apparently. So, again, Bajor has a rich history and its people have fought repeatedly for their rights.
We will not be slaves!
So, again, he said, the Bajoran people who are fighting a war for so long we no longer how to live in peace. The Federation rules us now, they may be kind to the Cardassians, but are still occupiers. Look at our history since the occupation, the Circle, the Kon Ma, the Maquis. Thousands of young people joining Starfleet to fight the Dominion and the Empire. Our only art now is violence. So I could say that they're the fiercest fighters, the skilled warriors can remember. If you feel remorse for the Bajor's past, you might not have changed as much. Or the freedom fighters of the past do not deserve to be called terrorists for you today. I'm going for, you feel remorse for violence that might not change as much as you have. And he thinks again, never thought of it that way. So I'm now going to say we appreciate your willing to share the city with us while we coordinate a campaign against the Jem'Hadar.
This is our home!
So he's saying many Bajorans were displaced, thousands died in camps, and even if you weren't forced into the camps, life was uncertain. Do you know when Gul Parak commanded the weapons depot here? During the occupation he executed 15 farmers simply for not displaying the Cardassian banner outside their homes. We're already seeing this here. Starfleet and the KDF are taking over this section of the city. Soon Bajorans will be pushed out of their business and home to make room for more soldiers. I could say we should be grateful. If we were out here to protect you, there would be nothing to stop the Jem'Hadar landing. I could say it's a temporary arrangement, all Starfleet operations will move to DS9 once it's settled. Or we're grateful of the space and all the improvements we've left as a token of our appreciation. I'm going to go for the third one here. Apparently I didn't see it that way. I'm going to say many of our facilities, including sickbay and holodecks, are available for use by Bajorans.
Bajor for Bajorans!
So he's saying land wasn't the only thing that they took from us. They treated us like animals. Thousands lost their lives in medical experiments, were permanently injured. Cardassians didn't care if we lived or died. The only thing that mattered was the health Bajorans could process ore. So I could say that the facility set up here for officers, or there was some unfortunate instance, but you're overlooking that the Frostosa virus was cured by Cardassian scientists. Or the physicians here are sworn an oath to do no harm, they will help anyone who wants to make use of their service. Going with that. He never thought of that way either, so I'm doing quite well. Last one is Bajor is a beautiful world, we have no wish to harm it.
We will not be slaves!
Shush! The Cardassian occupation took everything from Bajor. Resources were stripped away with no regard for allowing to replenish for future. The planet is nothing but a shell. So as the materials were reinvented through projects like the construction of Deep Space Nine, with careful planning we might be able to prevent further damage and reverse some of the long-lasting effects, or Bajor may have lost some but it's still incredibly rich. I'm going for the middle one. And you never thought of it that way. We don't want to leave a mark on Bajor. When we leave your city, we'll leave it as you found it.
This is our home!
He's saying it was scarred by the Cardassians, a stripped away our bounty. But what was worse was their lack of consideration for the environment. Soil, air and water have all been poisoned. Entire species have been wiped out or damaged. New pests with no natural predators were introduced. So time heals all wounds. Give it another century? Not. At least the Cardassians left. A few voles are a small price to pay. And I'm going to say traps will catch pests. Soil reclamated or repair farmland and medicine can heal the sick. And you never thought of it that way. Now he's still having his thing, but we apparently have calmed him down, so yay us. Look at me being diplomatic. So let's go back to talk to Cubist. I think he was down this way. Yeah, he is. Bit of local music, quite nice. So Cubist posed, I heard what you had to say, those protesters excellent work. I think people will start seeing things your way. So I've now got one of petitioning the prophets or soil savers. So petition the prophets. They're going to let me see an orb. Well, I'm going to have a go at the orb. The soil one, I've got to look at plant stuff. Orb experience all the way. Although I still think an orb experience sounds like something you'd be given for like your 40th birthday, or like as a thing when your colleagues don't quite know what to get you as a leaving gift. So, no, wait, that's, yes, the temple's over here. Big picture of an orb in front of it. Remember here, we've had an orb experience before.
Do you seek the wisdom of the prophets?
I was told there was an orb here.
Yes, the Vedic Assembly has honored us by allowing one of the tiers of the prophets to come to Hathon.
This bit's new, it's been voiced.
We are the temporary caretakers of the orb of change and possibilities. Ranjan Ravel informs me that you seek guidance in these troubled times. You are not alone. Many of us are questioning why these terrible events have happened. Go to the orb now. If you are fortunate, the prophets will answer your questions.
Oh, let's go to the orb. So we're using the orb of prophecy and change. Why have the prophets seen fit to return the gem Hadar to this time and place? Oh no.
You are not grateful.
No, I'm not.
We saved Bajor at the Cisco's insistence.
Yeah.
It cost him dearly.
We moved the fleet, but we needed to put it back.
A hand that remains closed
ceases to be a hand.
The fleet needs to exist, as you must return.
So yeah, what this is telling you is that that fleet, now, you have to kind of have watched Deep Space Nine. So if you watched Deep Space Nine, and you should actually, because it's good, there, in the episode Sacrifice of Angels, there is a Gem Hadar fleet that basically gets vanished in the wormhole as they're coming to reinforce the troops in the Alpha Quadrant. And this is that fleet. So he's saying, Kubus Prol's telling me I should feel blessed, prophets don't speak to everyone. He's got faith in their plan for Bajor, and I'm an important part of that plan.
Peace and quiet. That's what we need.
Yeah, yes, it says Kubus. Commander Achibi needs my help, so I've got to go to her and talk to the details. So I will go and talk to Commander Achibi. Or Ashibi? Ashibi? Probably pronouncing it wrong. If you say her name. If I'd listened ages ago when I last recorded, probably my fault as much as anything. So, let's go to her. So she's just saying we will retake Deep Space Nine. So, I can say, is there anything else that needs to be done?
I have new orders for you.
So she's saying we've managed to set up a subspace relay outside. I need to try and pick up any transmission coming from Deep Space Nine. We need intel, and if we learn about the state of things, will help. So I'm going to the subspace fireworks.
I have new orders for you.
Let's go out. So, at this thing here, satellite dish, what we basically do is scan subspace frequencies. So, let's increase the frequency. Now, when that turns green, we've got a signal. Replicating Force Network, so yeah, let's talk to the replicator. Would you like an ice rack? Do you know hot or sweet with cream? Please specify. So, yeah, just connected to a replicator. Is it hooked up to someone's Alexa? Can we go any higher on the scan frequencies? No, that's us, so we'll lower it. Oh, let's try that one. So we've talked to Ferengi. He's saying, hey, who is this? How do you find this channel? I'm saying, wait, don't terminate communication, I'm a friend. Oh wait, I know you, said the Ferengi. I recognise you from earlier. You were trying to help that Deferi ambassador get a Hall Suite appointment. I like your style. That was actually Quark, but you've been subbed in later. I'm Hadron, the bartender at Quark's. This is my alternate subspace communication channel. I use it for business matters. Legitimate legal business. Sometimes I don't want Curland and company listening in my dealings, but that doesn't make them any less legitimate. So I'm going to ask him, can you tell me anything about the Jem'Hadar in the station? He's saying they're terrible for business. There are a lot of them, they're mean, they don't eat or drink, they brought Kestrel with them. The Vorta with them has been in once or twice, always orders tullaberries, never talks and never pays. My profits are going down the drain. Hey, are you planning on coming back, right? Bring the fleet back to kick these guys out? I need actual paying customers. I'll even give you a discount on all drinks for the first hour after the station's reclaimed. Top shelf drinks included, of course. I'm going to say, we're taking Deep Space Nine, but we need your help. Alright, the Jem'Hadar Alpha is named Kurakan. He's a real tough customer. Biggest and meanest of them all. He's got a Vorta with her. Her name is Loris. She's tough, but she hasn't gone out her way to make our lives miserable. She's allowing those of us who didn't evacuate to stay, but only if we toe the line and don't give the Jem'Hadar any trouble. Honestly, how's a business meant to make a living like this? The weird part is they all think the Dominion War is still going on. I heard Loris and Kurakan talking. They expected there to be an entire Dominion fleet here waiting for them, and a changeling to be in charge. It's crazy. They've been hauling people in for questioning, and teams of Jem'Hadar have been tearing the station apart looking for this captive changeling. What's happened to these guys? They get stuck in a black hole for 30 years? So I'm going to say thank you for your help. We'll return as soon as possible. Just need you to hold on a while longer. So, let's go back to my commander. So that's kind of confirmed what the prophets said. And yeah, it's the fleet from Sacrifice of Angels. So she said, that's interesting. I'll keep in touch with Hadron. Maybe we can get more information.
I have new orders for you.
So I'm going to say I managed to get in touch. So she says the Dominion are looking for a foundry and they think the war's still going on. We need to clear up the confusion. Maybe they'll be willing to leave the station peacefully if we're convinced the war has been over for decades. I think we're ready to contact Deep Space Nine, talk to the leaders of the fleet. I want you to be our contact. Curlin will link in and assist you. So I've got to go and we're going to try and talk them out of this. Like I say, it's not been the most action-packed video, but I like it. I just like... Effectively, I'd almost call these lore or flavour missions, where you just get to do stuff, and I wish they'd do more of it. So, I've got to phone Deep Space Nine. Well, there's Carl and he's here. Hail Deep Space Nine, but let me do the talking. I know you could handle this alone, but this is my station and my responsibility. Yeah, sure. Hailing Deep Space Nine on an encrypted channel. Putting it on screen now.
Who is this? What do you want?
Let's not be so hasty, Karukan. They obviously went to a great deal of trouble to contact us.
We kinda just phoned.
I am Loris of the Dominion, temporary governor of Deep Space Nine. How can I help you?
Thank you for agreeing to talk, Loris. I am Captain James Curland of the Federation Space Station Deep Space Nine. It is my hope that we can find a peaceful resolution to this conflict.
Of course, Captain. You want your station back.
Yes, please.
But this is a war, and your station is my prize.
I know this will be hard for you to accept, but there is no war. It's been over for decades. Your fleet was diverted when you attempted to pass through the wormhole. The prophets... There is a great deal we have to explain, but please understand, we are not your enemies.
I am not a fool, Captain. We have reviewed the records in DS9's databanks. Why should I believe this fantasy of prophets and time travel? Show me proof that what you say is true.
I do like these old cutscenes where they edited it together with stuff, you know, like emotes and that sort of thing. So Curlin's asking, Loris asked Admiral Drakhara of the inevitability to join us today. Admiral, could you please step in here? Our esteemed Vart would like some proof. So I can show video, I can review the current state, or discuss the details. So I'm going to show video records from the end of the Dominion War. These are the video records of what happened after your fleet disappeared. I think reviewing them might be helpful.
The Dominion War continued after a combined Starfleet and Klingon force retook DS9.
If nothing else, they tried
When
to
the
redo it
Romulans
with
entered the war on
in-game
our
stuff.
side, things began to turn. The Dominion recruited the Breen to their cause, but the disease that was attacking the Founders put them on the defensive. They ultimately retreated out of most of the Alpha Quadrant, creating a defense perimeter in Cardassian space. Soon after, a Cardassian official named Damar led a rebellion on Cardassia Prime, breaking the standoff. The Dominion was forced to surrender.
Do not try to deceive me. That cannot be what happened.
It
Why
is.
should I believe these recordings are real?
Oh, that's a good point. How do you think we should do this? So we could show casualty figures, prove the authenticity. I think corroborate. Let's try corroborating. Many other species were involved.
You say the Federation is your enemy, but you show me recordings made by one of their starships? I cannot accept this as proof.
Oh. Seems the left was an impasse. Is there anything we can do to convince you to leave peacefully?
Enough! I will consider your arguments carefully, but you must understand that I am under orders as well. The Founders gave me specific instructions before I left the Gamma Quadrant. I accept that may have been many years ago. Nevertheless, mere time cannot countermand the commands of the gods. We are attempting to contact the Dominion in the Gamma Quadrant. As of yet, we have been unsuccessful. Until I speak to a Founder and receive new orders, we will remain here. Deep Space Nine belongs to the Dominion.
Well, that went well. So, Commander Achebe's contacts us. Thank you for all your assistance. Now that we know more about the current situation, we can decide how to best this set at to advantage. There is only one end to the scenario. Retake Deep Space Nine. I've got to pick her, or I'll pick the. So,
If Loris and Karu Khan have been unable to contact the Dominion, perhaps we can do it for them. I have authorization to send someone to the Gamma Quadrant to seek out the Dominion and persuade them to help us with the Jem'Hadar occupying DS9. I want you to be that representative. Karu Khan's ships are guarding the wormhole, so access is limited. A small craft like a shuttle or fighter might be able to slip through the blockade, so leave your starship here at Bajor. I've been told one of your Empire's best shuttle pilots is here. Vishka comes highly recommended, and I suggest that you bring her along. The war is over, but Loris and Karu Khan won't believe that unless they hear it from someone they trust.
So that's going to be our next mission. So that's all we've got time for today, for just now. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, hopefully the sound isn't too off with the new rig, and hopefully all the videos flowing a lot better. Hopefully we don't have all the juddering and lag that we've had in the last few, and you can be properly enjoying stuff like this. Failing to sit down. Yeah, she doesn't like this bench. Once again, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, if you want more of this, you can go back and watch the previous episodes, see what happened. And indeed, if you want to see all Star Trek Online, I've got that as well as some other games such as Mr. Wing Commander. There's a big back catalogue. If you want updates, please like and subscribe. Apparently that's a good thing and you're meant to do. And if you want to talk to me, you can leave comments. Here is probably the easiest way, but there are also options such as talking to me on Blue Sky or Mastodon. I'm at Pieman70 at Blue Sky Social, or at Pieman70 at Mastodon Social. So those are two ways you can get in touch if you don't want to feedback in YouTube. But other than that, once again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope to see you next time. But until then, bye for now.